Sages, those who are wise, are peaceful. It's beneficial to understand how that's possible. Hi, I'm Dennis Bradford. To be peaceful is to be happy, content, satisfied. It's easier to be friendly, loving, and cheerful when we're peaceful. Life is much better and more enjoyable when we're peaceful than when we're not. What is being peaceful? Being peaceful is not wanting anything. It's being without desire for something different. It's identifying with the present moment. That's important because now is the only time life can be lived. We can neither live yesterday today, nor can we live tomorrow today. In that sense, it's always now. So what's not being peaceful? It's wanting or desiring something else. It's being unhappy, discontent, dissatisfied. It's resisting the reality of the present moment. Is there a simple way to promote peacefulness or non-resistance? Yes. Whenever you notice a desire, it's wise to get into the habit of asking, and then what? As Dr. David R. Hawkins points out in his book, I, the answer is always the same, namely, and then I'll be happy. At least that's what you implicitly believe. Really? Is that true? Well, you may have in the future some temporary relief from your present desire, but you won't be happy. The thought of future fulfillment isn't fulfillment. Fulfillment is only ever right now. If you cannot be happy today, what makes you believe that you can be happy tomorrow? If you're unhappy right now under these circumstances, the odds are that you won't be happy in the future either, even if the circumstances were to change so that you gain what you want. To become happier, practice happiness now. Happiness, like unhappiness, tends to perpetuate itself. Becoming, the everyday world of noisy, moving forms, is in incessant flux. Even if you were to become happy in the future by gaining what you want, it would quickly fade as soon as you wanted something else. This is why sages from the axial age to contemporary ones teach that that's not the way to abiding happiness or peacefulness. The Buddha pointed out that most of us try to be happy by following the way of the world, which is constantly trying to gain what we desire and to avoid or lose what we don't want. If that's been your procedure so far, ask yourself honestly, am I abidingly happy, content, and peaceful? If not, consider the alternative, which is to stop thinking that following the way of the world works for living well. It doesn't. Ask yourself, what is the good with respect to a desire? If you're confused, you'll think it's gaining the object of the desire. For example, since hunger is the desire for food, you might think that the good with respect to hunger is food. It's not. Food is just the object of the desire. What's the real payoff that the food will bring? It's desirelessness. It's the cessation of the hunger, the end of the desire, freedom from desiring. The good with respect to any desire is the dissolution of that desire. If so, insofar as possible, it's wise to let go of as many egocentric desires as possible. That's the way to abiding peacefulness and happiness. The way to living well or wisely is the way of non-attachment, of inwardly letting go of as many egocentric desires as possible. It's the opposite of the way of the world, which is the way of gaining. What actually works is the way of losing. That's why the Buddha said that there is no wisdom for those who do not meditate. To meditate well is to transcend the domain of the ego, to let go of the egoic delusion that keeps us stuck in the unhappiness of perpetually arising desires. There are multiple kinds of meditative or spiritual trainings that aid in doing that. All the classic ones can work. In other words, the way to living well is to practice living well. Sages realize that everything required for living well is available right now. May you too realize that and enjoy the goodness of abiding peaceful.